Daily Devotionals for April 5th. Today's scriptures will be 1 Samuel 8, verses 1 through 7. And for the next couple days, I'm going to be speaking about Samuel and Saul, so the prophet and the man who would become king. There's many lessons that we can learn from this. The Lord's asked me to study about Saul. So I want to start here, chapter 8, verse 1. Now it came to pass when Samuel was old. Now remember, he went to live with Eli in the temple just as a very, very young boy. But now when he's old, he made his sons judges over Israel. Names of his firstborn was Joel, and the second was Abijah, and they were judges in Beersheba. But his sons did not walk in his ways. Now remember, Samuel was a righteous man, and not one word that he spoke ever fell to the ground. But his sons did not walk in his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain, took bribes, and perverted justice. Then all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel and said to him, "Look, you are old." Okay, and he was. Obviously, by this time he was. "And your sons do not walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." Now, I want to stop there and go back to Exodus. This is chapter 18, verse 21. And this is God speaking through Moses. This is how to select the judges. He said, they would be able men who fear God, men of truth, and hating covetousness. Those are the ones that would be made judges and rulers over the people. Now, obviously, Samuel, even though he was a very wise man and loved God, he did not heed that truth and just appointed his sons as judges. Okay, and they were corrupt. And you see a pattern here. He grew up in the temple serving Eli, and Eli had two very corrupt and wicked sons. And, eventually God killed those two. So, okay, verse 6, but this thing displeased Samuel. People are coming and saying, "Hey, your sons are corrupt, and we want somebody that we can serve. Give us a king to judge us." So Samuel prayed. Here he is, a wise man. He prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, "Heed the voice of the people in all that they say to you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them." Because God always wanted to be the one to reign over the people. But, here we go. These are like the children of Israel, back with Moses. They didn't want to hear God for themselves. They wanted someone, these guys, they wanted someone to rule over them, just like they had Moses. You go listen to God. So I think there's some real lessons we can learn there. You can't just place your son, and you can say this in the corporate world, or you can say it in the church. Sometimes people are put into position because they have a name, they have a title. Oh, it's so-and-so's son, so let's just put them in a position because, well, their dad was a good preacher, so we'll just make them a preacher too. And that's just not the way that it should be. There's protocol, and it's God's protocol. So we need to be careful that we hear God's voice, obey him. I said, don't just put people in position because they have a title or their parents, coming along beside them. Samuel was a wise man, and he heard the cries of the people, and he went to God and listened to see what he would have to say, and then he took action on that. The other thing is, remember, if you're bringing a word of the Lord, people will oftentimes reject you, but are they really rejecting you? If you're bringing the truth of what God is saying, are they really rejecting you, or are they rejecting him? Okay? So you got to think about that too. All right, so I said we'll just go over some lessons I feel that we can learn from this. Samuel maintained his relationship with God. He didn't compromise. He sought him on behalf of the people. All right? Okay. Till tomorrow. Be blessed.